How was it working with Masa?
So Masa would take a point of view that was absolutely out there, 10 steps ahead of where anyone was. And I think there's some proportion of his feedback that was absolutely nuts. But what you have to pay attention to was the kernel of wisdom that you don't want to miss. I think Vinod is actually the same way. And you can't miss the point that is absolutely critical in changing the future trajectory of your company. And so that was one observation from Masa. The second was Masa operates on trust and loyalty. And so we would go negotiate a deal. Masa and I were the two independent board members of Alibaba at the time. Jack and Joe were on the board as insiders, owning both shares of Alibaba and Alipay. And Masa and I would be tasked with some issue as independents. I would end up negotiating this with Masa's legal team and someone at SoftBank who would be tasked with it. And we'd do like 9 months worth of work in the weeds every day, days in China and Japan. And then Masa would come in and say, I want to know what the key principles are of this deal. That is fine. I trust that. We will make this transaction happen. And I would sit there and say like, oh my God, like, is he really just going to trust what we just said? And he trusted his team. And he just wanted to know that the top level principles were what he believed in. And then he was fine. And so I've never worked like that. It was at an extreme level. And I felt like I was the nerdy Girl Scout in the weeds, making everything happen. And I was very comfortable with the way I did things, but it definitely was a different work style than Masa's. I can't fault his though. He's doing just fine.